We have Dr. Jayashree Rajagopalan and her daughter, Mrs. Aishwarya, to help us with the practical part of Natya Shastra. I will request Tripathi ji to introduce them briefly, and then we will quickly start with them. Very warm welcome to both of you. Thank you.
Friends, it is my privilege to introduce you to Dr. Jayashree Rajagopalan and her illustrious daughter. And it's a rare occasion. I'm sure it will be a feast, a delightful feast for all of us. And what we have been trying to understand from the theory part of it, we will be seeing it happening practically. I have been knowing Dr. Rajagopalan for about 40 years, and when I started my Natya Shastra studies personally on my own, I felt that I have to see the Natya Shastra in practice, if there is at all any living tradition of Natya Shastra. Then I discovered that there is a great guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who has created a system of Bharatanatyam based on the 4th chapter of Natya Shastra and the way she interprets the Karnas and Angaharas. So that was a unique, something unique in 20th century, and the contribution of Dr. Padma Subramaniam, you see, has been such an important discovery of our times. Dr. Jayashree Rajagopalan is the worthy disciple of Dr. Padma Subramaniam, and she herself is a Natya Guru, a Guru of Bharatanatyam system and an exponent of Bharatanatyam based on Natya Shastra of Bharat Muni. She has her own institution of dance at Mumbai, and Aishwarya is her worthy disciple and a daughter also. And it is an experience to see them performing. So, and particularly Dr. Rajagopalan has been such a help for all my academic pursuits, and I have depended on her. We created a 26 episode program for AVRC, UGC Gyan Darshan channel at Sagar. We had an AVRC at Sagar. So the AVRC people called me to prepare episodes on Natya Shastra. So I could deliver lectures on Natya Shastra, but there was, at my town, in my university, there was nobody to whom I could approach for the performance part of it. And Mrs. Rajagopalan was living at Mumbai, but she could come at such a distance place as Sagar. And to my sheer delight, she showed us the Karnas and Angaharas, so we could create those episodes for the UGC Gyan Darshan channel with her help. So Dr. Rajagopalan is not only a performer, she is also a scholar of Natya Shastra. She has properly studied the text of Natya Shastra. She is a scholar of the theory as well, and she has worked for her PhD thesis on the Aharya Abhinaya. When we reach the 21st chapter, we will find that Aharya, how important it is for the whole performance. And we will also again listen to Dr. Rajagopalan, her lecture on Natya Shastra. And the Karnas and Angaharas being performed by Padma Subramaniam ji, their identification as from the Nataraja temple and the errors of identity, that also she has pointed out, and the way she has rendered Natya Shastra, the theory, into practice, that we will see through this presentation. So with these words, I welcome Dr. Rajagopalan and Aishwarya, and I am very grateful to them for taking all the trouble, coming all the way from Singapore and Chennai, and I think Aishwarya is coming from UK, and she had also just received an award for standing first in her MA degree today itself, and I hope that She is a great potential for the whole tradition. She is carrying the tradition of Padmaji and her worthy Guru, Jayashree Rajgopalan ji. With these words, I welcome them again and request Dr. Jayashree Rajgopalan ji to start her demo lecture. Thank you very much.
Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Sai Ram. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Radha Vallabh Tripathi ji, who has invited me to support him in this immensely valuable venture of taking forward the 36 chapters of Natya Shastra within a week to make the layman understand the worth of it. To bring anything in a Sanchepa form, it is more difficult. It is like writing a précis of a huge essay, and I attended the first few lectures and I found how beautifully he had summed up those chapters. And I am immensely grateful to him for making me come here along with my disciple and daughter Aishwarya. And thank you so much, sir, for all those kind words that you said, but I don't know how worthy of it I am. I stand here as a representative of my Guru's work, my Guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who's a legend of the 20th century, because within that short span of just 50 years of that century, she has recreated a forgotten, almost lost tradition of the Natya Shastra, the Nritta aspect of Natya Shastra. She started off only looking at the sculpture and wondering why those sculptures which were there were not there in the dance that she was learning. She was learning Bharatanatyam under none other than Valuvu Ramaya Pillai, who stood as the master of masters in Bharatanatyam at the time when she was learning in Chennai. Soon enough, her life took her to various levels and she started working on the Karanas, which had been probably theoretically, discussed by some. Manmohan Ghosh, who has given the translation to us, has written the description of all the 108 Karanas, but it is not performance oriented. And many people thought that the Karanas were only postures, because some of the description, we will be doing that now, so that I'll take you from some descriptions of the Karanas which give you a feeling as though they are static, and some which give you the movement in fullness, and how my Guru has reconstructed these Karanas. We are not taking all the 108, we are only going to do a few which are very, very relevant for you all to know, and something that you can see very often in many other dances now. But when she did start, when my Guru Dr. Padma Subramaniam started this work, there was a lot of opposition, because that is how it is always, isn't it? Even Shankara had so much opposition. So when there is a tradition that has been established as Bharatanatyam, and she introduced movements that were alien to that Bharatanatyam which had got established from Sadiratam, there was natural opposition, and she had nothing against it, because she felt every little opposition was a moment of learning for her. Having been with her for the last 50 years, it has been it has been a learning in an encyclopedic way. Whatever she discovered or discussed, it would be shared with all of us, and we were all the patra for it. And I'm immensely grateful to the Lord for having given me such a Guru and such knowledge. I don't stand as somebody who is going to talk about the Karanas in authority, but I'm going to share what my Guru has given so authoritatively that she leaves very few questions unanswered. So now Tripathi ji has already spoken so much about the actual content. He has said what is a Karana. A Karana is a unit of movement. There was a time when many scholars, very well-known scholars, used to call them as Karana poses, because what they could see were only the sculptures in the temple, and naturally those were static. The sculptures could move. Those represented like a still photograph. If you take a photograph of any dance movement that is being done, then actually, suppose you have a Natadavu being performed. Tei, Yum, that's okay. We take a photograph here and say this is Natadavu. We cannot, if the tradition is lost, probably people will say Natadavu is where the Anchita Pada is frozen with the Tripitaka Hasta. So we don't blame anybody. It is not at all that, because our Guru has taught us how to value everybody's comment, whether it is positive or negative, because every comment makes you go further into your own study. And that is how she discovered, in fact it's given in the Natya Shastra that Karana comes from the root word krin, and that is a root for kriya, for karta, for karana, anything that represents action. And so without wasting too much time, because we have just this small evening, and I have to learn from Tripathi ji how to be very brief. So we will start with the Karanas, which he has already explained as Hastapada Samayoga Nrittasya Karanam Bhavet. That is what Bharata says. And Abhinav Gupta, right from the beginning, we've been noticing that Sir has been supporting the sutras of Natya Shastra with the Vyakhyana, the commentary of Abhinav Gupta. And that is very, very essential, because I'm now taking up the first Karana, Talapushpaputa, which goes as when I look like this, I can see so well, but sometimes you have to realize you are aging. Yes. You don't age in spirit when you are an artist, but you cannot help the aging process. So, Vame Pushpaputa, Pashve Pada Agratala Sanchara, Tathacha Sannatam Parshvam, that is the bending of the Parshvam, Tala Pushpaputam Bhavet, it would look like a static pose. If we did not have Abhinav Bharati, I don't think Paduka would have been able to reconstruct it. That is how we affectionately call our Guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam. So, this would, Abhinav Gupta says that you would have to use the Adhyartikachari. In one place, of course, he's in the Natya Shastra, he says, Hastapada Samayoga Nrittasya Karanam Bhavet. But what are the units of a Karana is, there is a sthana, that is a static position of the body. Just come to Mandala Sthana. Yeah, this is one of the sthanas, because we'll be doing the sthanas later. And then there has to be a Nritahasta. Just show Vyavartita Parivartita. Okay. And then a Chari. The Charis are leg movement starting from the hip till the root of the starting from the root of the leg till the tip of the leg, that is from the hip till the toes. So we will be dealing with all that when we come to those chapters. But now, this is how our Shastras always, first they give the entirety, and then they start telling you what are its components. So Bharata has also given the Karanas first, and then he goes on to describe what it is made up of. And if we did not, I think Abhinav Gupta is one of those examples that people who are doing PhD theses should look for, because when he is writing the commentary, he gives so much of reference. When you have such a word as, now he says Vame Pushpaputa, it was a time when the gurus probably taught only the Hasta Veda with great difficulty, otherwise it was all practically oriented. When my guru was doing in the 60s. Pashve Pada Agratala Sanchara, she never knew what was Pada Agratala Sanchara. Today everybody is talking about it. What is it? Abhinav Gupta's Abhinav Bharati gives reference, go to this chapter for knowing the Pada Veda. I mean, he doesn't say go to, but he gives a reference. That is how we should have a PhD thesis. So the reference takes you back to that chapter. And there you can understand what is Pada Agratala Sanchara, to one of the Pada Vedas. So Agratala Sanchara would be the Agra, the Tala is the soul, and the front portion of that which is being Sanchara means use or movement. I'm not going into the Pada Vedas now, but at least little bit, if I don't explain, it will not be of any relevance when I talk about Karanas. So, Abhinav Gupta says you can use the Adhyarthika Chari. Now, nobody has heard of Charis at the time when she did the research, except as a title to many of the Acharyas. So, Chari represented the movement of the leg, Chara. It comes from the root word Char. And it represented the movement of the leg, the limbs that could move. We often say Gai Charta hai, but we never think of what would be the root of it. The root word is movement, and that represented the movement from, this is the Adhyarthika Chari that Abhinav Gupta recommends and says you have to use Vyavartita Parivartita Hasta. Those are 4 Hasta Karanas which nobody talks about. So again, reference takes her back to that chapter where you understand Vyavartitam is where the little finger moves in, Parivartitam is where it moves out, Udveshtita is with the index finger, and Apaveshtita. So there is a shloka for that. When we come to that, we'll do it. So now, how she could reconstruct this, where she could relate the shloka to the sculpture which was there in the temple. She went all over India searching for a complete documentation of the Karanas enlisted by Bharata in the Natyashastra, and that she found only in the Chola temples. And fortunately for us, in the Chidambaram temple, though in Tanjavur temple we have in the inner parikrama till 81, in the Chidambaram temple we have an entire series of the 108 sculpted in the Gopura, that is in the entrance. So even if people did not go into the temple, they would see the dancers even as they enter. So in that she found the movement Tala Pushpaputa with the Agratala Sanchara of the Pada Pushpaputa there as a pose, and many people had made this as pose. Now we use the Adhyarthika Chari and the Vyavartita Parivartita Hasta, looking like collecting the flowers to go and offer on the left side. Left side is Ishana, where Shiva rules the stage. You've just done the Purva Ranga, and that is where he will be installed. So let's do the Tala Pushpaputa. Tam Tatakadin Tadim Tata Kitataka Pushpaputa Purvam. I'm using this tone because it helps us to remember the names of the Karanas. So we do the movement, and this is what my guru has created, but she's made it like a Lakshana Geetam. Today my voice is in such a condition that I don't think I should risk spoiling the music that she has created. So I would, now, and it's easier for everybody who's learning to learn when it is being chanted. There is another variation that is given, because this Pada Agratala Sanchara also gives rise to use of many other charis for even Janita and such other charis, which you will learn, you will see later. So there is to move towards the Ishanam, there is this movement where you do the Avidha Chari and use Pushpaputa moving that side. Start. Dinna tam, tataka dinna tam, tataka dinna tam, tataka dinna tam. So now you can see how that same sculpture that was there in the temple gets motivated into action through the charis. The charis represent the movement of the leg. I am just taking up a few karanas, and I hope I will be doing justice to both my gurus, my own dance guru and guru Dr. Tripathi ji. I'm taking up the third one, which is called Valito Rukam. Valanam means to turn inwards, to bend. Uru is the thigh. So just take that position, just cross your Valanam of the thigh. No, just from this side, just cross it. Yes. So Valito Rukam, in the Tanjavur sculpture, it is only standing like this with a veena. It is standing with a veena like this. So we can make out that the thigh is crossed. There is a Valanam. This helped her to understand what is the Uru Bheda called Valanam also. So Valito Rukam, Abhinava Gupta in his Abhinava Bharati says you have to do Akshipta and then do that. Do with the hand. Yeah. Akshipta Hasta, where the hand goes up and comes down. This is Nrita Hasta that she is doing. So Valito Rukam, yes. Akshipta Hasta, Akshipta Pada, draw it back and do Baddha. Finishing with a Tribhangi. This is Valito Rukam. Now she will do Valito Rukam on both sides as a Karana. Takkadimmi, takkajanu, tam. Tattakkadimna, taddim, tatta. Itatakatam. Tattakkadimna, taddim, tatta. So, immediately following this, he gives Apavidham, in which the leg movement is the same. Okay, I wanted to read out all the shlokas, but I don't want to go beyond time. In Valito Rukam, it says, Shukatundau yada hastau Vyavartita Parivartita. We just did Vyavartita. So, Shukatunda hasta goes as Vyavartita Parivartita and gets separated like this. So, it has Vyavartita, Parivartita, Swastika and Viprakirna. These are all the Nrita hastas. And then we go to Apavidham, where Avartya Shukatundakya Uru Prishte Nipatayet. So, Shukatunda is dropped behind the Uru. So, now let's do that. Vamahastascha Vakshasta. So, it is being placed in front of the chest. Start. Tam, tattakatina, tam, tatta, kitataka, tam, tattakatina. Finish with Agratala in front. Agratala in front. So, this is how the sculpture is standing. There is one, of course, with the hand, as it says, behind the Uru. Yeah. In Tanjavur. We won't be able to show the visuals also, it's going to take a lot of time. So, as quickly as possible, because this is only in support of what Tripathi ji is doing. Then I have taken up Nikuttitam. Why? Because there are a lot of Bharatanatyam dancers. I want them to know that Nikuttitam is the origin of, you identify now, which Adavu. Nikuttitam yada hastav swabahu shirasontara. So both, that is Nikuttita, both are moving in that, the hasta and the pada. Now you do the Nikuttita. Yeah, do that. 1, 2. Takkadimmi, takkajanu, takkadimmi, ta. Tay, ha, tay, hit, tay, ha, tay, hit, tay. Now you know which Adavu is derived from this. But there's another version. There's so much of explanation that my guru has gone into, but I'm unable to put forth all this to you, because it says there is Udghatita has to be used. Udghatita is the Pada Veda, where the heel is lifted and dropped. And it can be with both hands doing this movement, or it can be with one hand doing the Avidya Vakra in Lata position and the other going up in Ala Pallava Hasta. So now she will demonstrate that also. So, in which, there is a difference because only one foot is doing Nikuttitam. In the earlier one, there was an Agratala and a Nikuttitam. Nikuttitam itself represents that. Agratala and Udghatita together. Now we have Ardha Nikuttitam. Why I am taking up this also? Because it says Anchitam Bahu Shirasi Hasta Swabhavi Mukhanguliya. That is, towards the face the Anguli has to be. Some of it is very clear, you feel like Bharata is talking to you and you can understand. And some of it is so nebulous that we have to go into all the labyrinths of the chapters. So here he says Anchitam Bahu. Bahu Anchitam is this. There is what is known as Bahu Karma, that is movement of the arms. But those come afterwards. So you can well understand what struggle my guru would have gone through to identify. She thought fourth chapter is what she's going to work on. But she had to keep going backwards to understand what is Anchitam. Today we are able to talk because we know Anchitam is this. We learn Anchitam, Kunchitam. So Anchita Hasta, Anchitam Bahu Shirasi, Hasta Swabhavi Mukhanguliya. That is, it is looking towards it. And one leg does the Nikuttitam. Then Nikutam cha, then Nikutam cha. So, this is Ardha Nikutam. Then we are taking up Kati Chinnam. Kati Chinnam seems quite important when we come to Angaharas. It is the 11th Karana, and like our Muttai Padavu, this Kati Chinnam seems to keep getting repeated as a Tihai or a Muttaipu. Every Angahara seemed to finish with the Karihasta and Kati Chinnam. So, just to understand the Kati Chinnam, Paryayasha Katis Chinna, that is, we already know Kati Chinna, that is, it's a Chinna Bheda of the Kati. Bahuho Shirasi Pallavav. So it goes, then Puna Punascha Karanam Kati Chinnam Tu Tadbhavit. What do we make out of this? Because it was prevalent at the time when he taught. It is easy. Today, if you write an art review, you say, I know how to do it, so I don't have to write more than this. Probably Bharata felt that was how it was, because it was in practice and it hadn't to be explained beyond this. But thankfully, among so many commentators, Abhinav Gupta's Abhinav Bharati is there to help us understand what has to be done. He explains Chinna as the turning of the waist from its central point, sacrum. And for this, the Atikrantachari and Brahmari have to be used. And the Pallava Hasta she'll do. Now she will do Kati Chinnam. Takkatinni takkachanu tam takkatinna tattin tatta kitataka kati chinnam tatti vacha. You should have done that also. No, they are all waiting for something more. So actually in Angahara what happens is, it comes in all the, she is given the movement as she gives it as I don't know. Kati Chinnam Tadevacha Dhalankatum Kridatarikitatum Dhalankatum Kridatarikitatum Dhalankatum Dhalankatum Dhalankatum. This is how it comes like a Muttaipu. Muttaipu represents the Makuta Adavo or the finishing, which is a very ancient system. We say Om Shanti 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 3 times because the round, I think that Tripathi ji will be able to explain why we have this concept of saying anything 3 times. We only say it's an auspicious way of concluding it. It continues in our music and our dance also. So I hope the interpretation and understanding is correct.
Right.
So, yeah. So we find that this has been established from the Vedic period. So we continue to do this, and Kati Chinnam becomes the finishing movement for an Angahara. Now I've taken Vaksha Swastika. Vaksha is the chest. Swastika is where the hands cross in front of the chest. Swastikau charano yatra karo vakshasi rechitau. So both the feet and the hands will do swastika, and then they become rechitau. Nikunchitam tatha vaksho vaksha swastikam evatat. So now she will demonstrate that. Start. Vaksha swastika me. Vaksha. Vaksha swastika me. Vaksha. Leave ones in Rechita has also. Takkatinna tam. Kitutaka takkatinna te. And do the other variation where the Rechita Hasta becomes Vaksha Swastika. It finishes the other way around. This is another interpretation. That is what I told you, that my Guru has tried out every kind of interpretation that could be possible. Because when some things are left very vague, you try to give as many as possible so that it is justifiable. The study becomes justifiable. No doubt she spent so many years to reconstruct, revive, and now she's revitalized the entire system of Bharatanatyam. So her style itself is called Bharata Nrityam, because she feels, according to the medieval period, there is a word called Nritya. So let's call it as Nrityam, because we are now making a samanvaya of the Marga and the Deshi. Marga is the path shown by Natya Shastra, and Deshi is the regional form of Bharatanatyam. So when she brought both together as Marga, Deshi, Samanvaya, she said, I'll use a medieval term so that people are still able to understand that this is Nrityam and not Natya, as Bharatanatyam is called. Natya is theatre. So it is, Bharatanatyam is not Natya anymore in the concept of Bharata's theatre. So after Vaksha Swastika, we go on to Prishta Swastika. Now this, he's played around with the concept of swastika. A series of swastikas are there. Prishta Swastika is when the body turns behind and the leg is in swastika at the back and the hands are swastika in front of the chest. So here it says Vikshipta Akshipta Bahubhyam Swastikau Charanau Yada. Vikshipta and Akshipta, we have not done the chari, so it will be difficult. But Shipta itself is a Janga Beda, which means to throw. Just show one Shipta. That is one Shipta. Throw across. Throw across. That is also Shipta. Shipta, of course, is a Sanskrit word which says to throw out. So here it is to throw the Janga out from your body frame. That is called Shiptam. It's one of the Vedas of the Janga. Janga is that portion of the leg which is from the knee to the ankle. That portion is called Janga. And in Janga Veda, this is one of them. Here he says Vikshiptakshiptakam. No, sorry. Yes. Prishta Swastikam starts with Vikshiptam and Akshipta. Bahubhyam Swastikau Charanau Yada Apakrantar Ardha Suchibhyam Tat Prishta Swastikam Bhavet. So to explain all these terminology is going to take a lot of time. But Ardha Suchi is when you just stretch one leg and place it like this. Suchi would be to do complete splits. That is Suchi. So don't think only ballet had that. Ballet is one of our deshis. Ballet has its origin from the Natya Shastra. Natya Shastra is the bedrock for world dance. And ballet also has its origin from that. Because according to Bharata's Natya Shastra, he says this art that is given is for the entire Jambudvipa, which is Eurasia. Europe was part of this entire landmass. So we have done a lot of workshops identifying the two systems. It's based extensively on the Akashchari. So he says Ardha Suchi is that Apakranta that is Apakranta, and Akshipta and Vikshipta. Just to throw. We are going to do both now. Okay. So now she will show Prishta Swastikam, which will begin with Apakranta, and Abhinav Gupta says Vikshiptam and Akshiptam of the Bahu represents the Udveshtita and Apaveshtita. So here she will do Prishta Swastikam. Prishta Swastika me. Stop. 1 minute. So wait, remain like that. Here you get, this is the Prishta, the back. Now the back has got a swastika here, but the back of her also has got a swastika in the hasta. That is why he says hasta upado. That is both hands, and if both hands and both feet don't meet, we won't get a swastika. So it goes as natural conclusion that together they'll form. Now do Prishta Swastika front and back. Start. Prishta Swastika me vacha itata imtata itata imtata. So wherever the artist turns, you will get a swastikam behind her. So it becomes Prishta Swastika. Abhinav Gupta says how the sacrum, that is the hip, has to be moved to get that Kati Bheda. This is, I am very fortunate to get this from my guru when she was doing her research. Having been with any guru for over 50 years naturally gives you this advantage. I was also part of her, taking advantage of her research work, or she would, just come and share it. We have only about 10 years difference. So it was like, that is why we still call her Akka. Everybody calls her, even these young ones call her Akka. Vikshipta Akshiptakam is one more that I have taken. It says Vikshiptam Hastapadam cha tasi va Akshepanam punah. You do again and again, punah you keep doing the same, and that becomes Vikshipta Akshiptakam. For that, Abhinav Gupta explains beautifully, saying that Vikshiptam and Akshiptam, the hands are Vyavartita Parivartita, and the leg will keep doing the Akshipta Karana and drawing it back and forth. Now I'll give you 3 variations of the Akshipta, that Vikshipta Akshiptakam that she will do. So the hand goes as Vyavartitam, take the hand like that with Akshipta, then do Vikshipta. When the leg goes as Vikshipta, she throws the hands out. Go, finish it. Join it and then do Kati Rechaka. The hand gets dropped like this. Now do continuously once. 1, 2. Vikshipta, Shiptakam, Tatha. Okay. Now you will do with Utspandita technique behind and Kati Hasta. Do. Start. Vikshipta, Kshiptakam, Tatha. So when the leg is drawn behind, it is one aspect of a Bhumichari called that is Utspandita, but it turns from the small part of the leg and it's drawn behind. There is the Vinyoga, the use of all this, but we'll have another session with Guruji, with Tripathi Ji himself and my Guru who will come and do it when we can do the Karanas. Because every one of the Karanas has got a Vinyoga, the use of it. So it would be interesting for you all to know where these can be used. Now we go to a Karana called Bhujanga Trasitam. It's a very, very important Karana. In the ancient texts of Shiva Tattva, the pose, Nataraja pose, is described only as Bhujanga Trasita. What is Bhujanga? Bhujanga is the snake, and Trasita is being agitated by the snake. So the movement involves a chari called Bhujanga Trasita. The shloka goes as Kunchitam Padam Ukshipta. It means she raises it. Trayashram Uru, that is, it is towards the corner, Urum, Vivartite. Kati Janu Vivartacha. So Kati and Janu, drop it. So Kati is the hip. Yeah, it is now it is taken across. Then you fold it like this. This is Janu, that is Kati. Both are opened up on the other side, from the side it came. So it's explained so clearly in this. This becomes the movement called Bhujanga Trasitam. Now she will do that. This can be done on both sides. There is no restriction to bring it and stop it like this. It can be done on this side also, because basically it is a Nritta Karana. Karanas can be done with hands on both sides, except Tala Pushpa Putta. He specifically says it has to be done only for Ishana, for Shiva. So here she will show the Bhujanga Trasita on the right and the left. Bhujanga Trasita Tata Bhujanga Trasita Tata. So when you do, just do three of them in one row, and showing the Bhujanga is following you. 1, 2, tam, tatakadina tam, tatakadina tam, tatakadin. It's as though he's kicking off the Bhujanga by rotating his foot, taking it right across. There's a chiptam, throwing it out like that and taking it across. So the Kunchita Pada that he raises on that side, he does Ukshipya. Chipya is to throw. Ukshipya, lifting it up. Then he makes it Trayashra Uru. So it comes across the Uru. And then Vivartitam, Janu and Kati. So Bhujanga Trasita is this. So now you can, those who have learnt it can confidently say you are standing in the Bhujanga Trasita frozen moment as Nataraja. Urdhva Janu is immediately after this, because there is a kind of a logical enumeration sequence in the way he has given the movement. So when he is speaking about Kunchita Pada, here again he talks about Kunchitam Padam Ukshipya, same words. Janu Stana Samam, that means you have to lift and stop it. You must lift and stop it close to the chest. Then Prayoga Vashagav Hasta Urdhva Janu. So it can be according to the requirement of that moment. It can be Parvati or Shiva. So now let's see how she will demonstrate an Ardhanari with Urdhva Janu. 1, 2, tam, tatta, Urdhva Janu, Urdhva Janu, tatta, Vacha. So, in the 4th chapter, sir would have explained to you how when Shiva was reminded of his Sandhya Tandava, Parvati also joined him, and then they could witness the Uddhata and the Sukumara Prayoga. Uddhata is what came to be known as Tandava, but according to Bharata's Natya Shastra, Tandava Lakshana refers only to the Nritta, because after they see Shiva and Parvati's dance and see that there is a Uddhata or the forceful and Sukumara or the gentle Prayoga of the same Karanas, then they realize that there is something called Prakriti, each one's nature, that gives the dynamism or the delicateness of the movement. And so when Shiva says this is what you have to learn and include in your Purvaranga, he advises his disciple Tandu to teach. Tandu is referred to in many places as Muni. So let us not, there has been lot of things written about Tandu and Nandi being same. It is not so at all. Nandi is one of the Bhutaganas and he is the Adipati there, and he is one of the with the Ganas, and he is a Vahana of Shiva, whereas Tandu is referred to, Bharata refers to him as Muni, that means he was a very evolved soul, a direct disciple of Shiva who actually taught dance to Bharata, and so it came to be known as Tandavam. So Tandavam is just dance, but today we call Tandavam. Nobody has to be blamed, because in the medieval period anything that was forceful came to be known as Tandavam. But today, in the name of Tandavam, there are a lot of people, including in the films, they jump all over the place, making Shiva look like a, like a rogue elephant, jumping all over the place. There is no need, because Abhinav Gupta says again and again, Gatra Vikshepana, that is, you throw your limbs in all direction, but with lot of grace. Even now you will see some Dandapada and all that, where you throw the limbs, but there is so much of dynamism and grace in that. It's not wild. So let us not, and those who learn all this from Professor Tripathi and all, should understand that we should be graceful in whatever we do. So now we come to Mattali. This is something we have been criticized a lot. So let me demonstrate about Mattali, because when my Guruji started Mattali, she learned, she was so excited. She incorporated that in Jatisuram, I don't know, maybe way back in 68 or 67 or something like that. And she was criticized. She didn't use the hand because she just studied the chari. She didn't know what nritas could be used. So there was one where she just do a Mattali and tati tita. Patari sa padani dani sa paga. Just this we all performed in Arangetram, and when we moved into various places, especially in Bombay, I was torn apart saying she is using cabaret dance. My guru herself was criticized of using cabaret, and then she said, okay, I must know what is there in cabaret, because she'd never seen cabaret. And of course she was shouted at by all her brothers, but some clipping she could see where there is so much of belly movement, which is so important for us. The Udara movement is very important for the Karanas, but not to make it look titillating or something, to add grace to Rechakas. Those are all Rechakas. So here we will use Mattali, where it says Vama Dakshina Padabhyam Gurna Manopas Sarpanai. Like it keeps going, interlocking like this. So now don't do the chari, do the karana. So now Udveshtita Paveshtitam, that is the hasta that she has to do for Mattali. Now you use the Nitamba hasta, then Keshabandha and Lata hasta. Start. Mattali cha takita dhikita tumkita tam. So this is given in the Natya Shastra, in the Vinyoga. It says it can be used for the entry of the heroine, for moments where a lot of grace has to be incorporated. And then we have skipped a lot of them. Now I'm come to Nupuram. Nupuram literally means the anklet. So how beautifully he uses the anklet as a chari, and then it becomes a karana. Trikam suvalitam kritva. So it has to turn behind now. Lata rechita kau karau. Both the hands will become, from lata they will become rechita. Nupurascha tatha pada karani nupuram. Nupura padam she has to do only if you know the Nupura chari, but she will do now. That is Nupura chari, where you lift the leg and take it behind. The first one you do with the extended leg movement. Nupuram chaiva samproktam. Nupuram chaiva samproktam. So the trikam turns, the rechita and the lata hasta is used. So we will, when we do the Angahara, you can see how this is used. I'm trying to give at least a few Karanas out of the 108, because it's not possible to. Now, Dandarechita is where the Dandapada is used.
You have enough time.
Where the Dandapada is used, Dandapada is the Chiptam of the Janga. Just throw up your leg. No, just throw up your leg. Now that is Dandapada. Okay? So, Vikshiptam. Now you are hearing the word Vikshiptam, Akshiptam again and again. Shiptam literally means to throw. So if you have to throw, that is why Abhinav Gupta says Vikshep. Gatra Vikshepana doesn't mean just throwing. So make it graceful. Gatra is the body. Vikshiptam Hastapadam tu Samantadyatra Dandavat. Together. Rechite yeddi karanam nyayam danda rechitam. So you have the rechita hasta and the danda pada. So some words are very clear. Danda rechitam, okay, the leg is danda and the hands are rechita, but some are not. So we have to go to Abhinav Bharati to identify what. We'll come to some karanas. I've chosen some where only the hastas are given. But the beauty of the movement is so much. So now we come to Danda Rechita, just do that. So we start with the Nupura. That of course we follow Abhinav Gupta who says you can do Nupura and then. So that is the graceful variation of the Danda Rechita. Now just do Danda Rechita. Danda Rechita kam jaiva ta. Just stop like that. This is how it is in Tanjavur. Completely you know, nothing has been carved beyond this. It is not even being decorated, but there is so much dynamism. You can see the unnatam of the Parshva and the whole body in such movement. But the graceful version that she did with the Tribhangi. This is Danda Rechita. This we can see in the Chidambaram temple. Why I am going back and forth to temple structure and Abhinav Gupta is to show how my guru worked. Today I can talk about it because her book is there in front of me and I worked with her. But when she struggled also, thankfully we were there with her. So we know what she went through. And Uro Mandala is a Karana, but Uro Mandala actually represents a Nrita Hasta. So it is only the movement of the Hasta turning in front of the making mandalas. Mandalas mean circles. Making mandalas at the level of the Uraha. You all know Vaksha and Ura mean the chest. So making circles like this, making circles like this, making circles like this. These are the Nrita Hastas which represent Uro Mandala. The Karana itself carries the name Uro Mandala. I want her to demonstrate this because it comes in the Angahara later. Here, Swastika Apasritav. That is, the pada is made swastika and then it is released. Then pada apavidda kramo yada uro mandala hasta. Another. Start. Uro mandalam tadim tata tadim tata. Uro mandalam tadim tata tadim tata. So some sculptures are only standing like Devi, and then it is only, of course the text is somewhat clear, but it is because of Abhinav Gupta who says you have to use the Siddhavartachari. Siddhavartachari is the stretching and crossing, and then draw it back and do a Baddhachari. So it becomes clear to do the Mattali followed by this. Then we have the Dolapada Karana. Dolapada is also an Akashchari, and in that he says Kunchitam Padam Ukshipya. Again, Pashvat Pashvam to Dholayet. That is, from side to side you swing it. Pashvat Pashvam Dholayet. Prayoga Vashagav Hastav Dholapadam Ujite. So, in this, how it has been described is that we have to do an Urdhva Janu. Abhinav Gupta says, you start with an Urdhva Janu, take the hasta, and then throw the leg on the same side and across, and finish with the Kari Hasta, which would be with Pataka. So it can represent the dance of Shiva, it can represent any nritta element. So that is called Dholapada. And nowadays Dholapada is used by many styles, which is a very heartening thing, because many people have got inspired by my Guru's work, and lot of Deshi forms are incorporating many of the Karanas, which is very, very heartening to hear and see. Now next I'm taking Vivritam. In Vivritam again Akshiptam. There is one chari called Akshiptam. Just demonstrate that. Just Akshiptam. Now this is Akshiptam, but the way he uses it for so many Karanas, Akshiptam hastapadam cha trikam chaiva vivartayet rechitau tatha hastau vivrite karanam dvija. In this, it says that after doing Akshipta, it has to come to a sitting position. This is very clear in the Karana sculpture also. So that is why she was able to reconstruct it beautifully. So we have now do Vivritam tam tatakita Vivritam tam tata. So there is one sculpture like this. Turn behind. There's one more like this. So from Akshipta, how do we come to this? If you're a performer, it's easy to do that. So that is how she could identify. It was not, of course, she was blessed by the grace of Paramacharya, Shankaracharya. Then we have Gaja Kriditam, which is one of my Guru's very favorite Karana, and I hope Aishwarya will do justice to it. So here we have, first just show this, Karne Anchitaha, Karo Vamo, only left, Lata Hastascha Dakshina, Dola Padas Tatha Chaiva. This is Gaja Kriditam, do that again. Gaja Kriditam Chaiva. So, this is something that is very close to my Guru's heart. And at the age of 16, when she actually demonstrated this, it was Charles Fabry who said, "You cannot do an elephant like this." She said, "This is a young, energetic elephant." So an energetic elephant would go to the water and sport like this. So that is Gaja Kriditam. Anyway, she was reconstructing Bharata. So Garuda Pluta shows the Utpluta. You would have learnt in your Abhinay Darpana about Utpluta. Utpluta is slight jumps. So here, Prishta Prasarita Pada. Prishta Prasarita means at the back, but you cannot just lift like that. Lata Rechitau Karau Samunnatam Uraschaiva Garuda Plutam Bhavet. So here, Abhinav Gupta suggests that you should use the Atikranta, and then the Trikam keeps turning. Garuda Pluta. So you keep doing the Utpluta along with that. Start. Garuda Plutakam Chaiva. Go on the left side a little faster. Start. Takadinna, 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 ta. So this is called Garuda Pluta. She is using the Garuda Paksha Hasta, Nritta Hasta. So only if we know the components, then it is easy to understand how it has to be done. Then we come to the 80th one I've gone to, Mayura Lalitam. You just saw Garuda Pluta. Similar to this, but Vrishchikam Charanam Kritva Rechito Cha Tatha Karo Tatha Trikam Vivartitam Cha Mayura Lalitam Bhavet. How I don't know, it was Bharata or naturally Tandu has given him all this means, how they could identify the movement of the Mayura's neck as twisting like this. Now just do Mayura Lalitam. Mayura Lalitam Tatha Mayura Lalitam Tatha. The other version. Mayura Lalitam Tatha Mayura Lalitam Tatha. You can hardly see the leg of a Mayura. But the way its body moves, he has tried to identify an entire body movement. And then we come to, actually next is Sarpitam, and that was the last in the Tanjavur series. So we are always very emotional about that Sarpitam. Because when we come to Sarpitam, that is full of Rechakas. It's okay, you leave that. Now we do Prenkholitam. Prenkholitam is here, sir would have spoken to you about Nritta Matrika. Nritta Matrika is a combination of two Karanas. So just like we have in Bharatanatyam Adavas, you go on learning a lot of Adavas, then you have Korve Adavu, in which you have combination of some Adavas. So here, two of the Karanas get incorporated to create one movement. So in this Prenkholitam, we have a Dhola Pada and a Brahmari. Both these together form one Karana called Prenkholitam, which is like a Nritta Matrika. So here it is Dhola Pada Kramam Kritva Samutplutya Nipatayet Parivritta Trikam Chaiva Tat Prenkholitam Uchite. Trikam is the sacrum, that is the hip bone when it twists. Now let's do Prenkholitam quickly. Prenkholitam Chaiva. So that was the Brahmari Karana and this was the Dhola Pada. So when the two get together, it shows a lot of force in anybody's dance. So for Shiva's dance, it is very, very beautiful. Then, now we'll... you'll do Urudvrita, which we didn't do. Urudvrita is important for those who are learning Bharatanatyam because, yeah, you just do it. It doesn't matter. No, not that. Urudvrita Karana. Do that. Urudvrita is, this position is actually a chari. But when it has an Ardha Rechita Hasta, it becomes a Karana because a combination of a Nritta Hasta with a Chari makes it into a Karana. So now continue. So Urudvrita is where both the Urus are turned on the same side. Uru is what? It's the thigh. Uru represents the thigh. So here both the thighs are on the same side and again that on the same side. When we do the Chari's demonstration, then you will see how there are movements where the thighs, both thighs are turned towards the same side. Those who visit temples and take time to look at the sculpture, you will see a lot of sculptures standing, you know, some like this playing, but both feet will be in Uru facing here because the sculptor also is like a choreographer. In the space available, he has to fit in the sculpture. So because he knows the dance positions, the movements, he is able to do that. So when we have Samhatam, these two touching, you know, only that much space. So he elongates the body and gives a Shalabanjika. So, you know, but that space is not left empty. So that's the beauty of the Shilpa Shastra, which is so heavily based on the Natya Shastra. So then you show Vishnu Kranta, which is throwing of the leg in Chiptam. Wait, you first do according to the shloka. Puraha prasarita pada kunchito gaganon mukha. So it has to reach the gagana because that was the step that he took. Turn to the side and do. Turn to the side and do right up. Okay. Gaganon mukha. So his second foot he measured the sky. So that is why it's called Vishnu Krantam. Karau cha rechito yatra Vishnu Krantam bhavet. So just do Vishnu Krantam on three sides, one at the back. Don't do any in front. Two bandriya, and side left. Okay. With Nupuriya. No. Do with your hasta. With Rechita hasta. Start. Vishnukrantam Matha Chaiva Vishnukrantam Matha Chaiva. So this becomes like Vakyartha Abhinaya. That is, just by doing that one karana, you are able to show Vishnu has taken the, with his kranta, with his movement, leg movement, he has measured the earth. So this is Vishnu Kranta, which is the 100th. I took all the important ones. So I think we will now go on to how the Angaharas are formed. We have very quickly gone through some of the, out of the 108.
Is it possible to show Gangavatar?
I think she may find it difficult.
Okay.
Is anybody here able to do Gangavataranam? Can Akshay or Parimal do Gangavataranam? You are not dressed up for it. I know, but actually your trousers are much safer than your dhoti. No, actually there was a child who could do it. I should have used to do, but now
Okay.
the sari will be completely upside down. So I think that's not fair on the audience. That's why I thought if any of the boys do, they can do it. Where Gangavataranam is where both the hands are down and both feet up. Parimal, you did it long back. Parimal is not in a form. There's one more girl who does, but the college refused to give her permission to come. She could do Gangavataranam well. I wanted to show Gangavataranam and Shakatasyam. Shakatasyam probably you can do on your stomach, doing like Shakatasyam. Yes, and yeah, it's amazing how that sculpture is like this and holding a Kataka Mukha in all the tension, one beautiful Kataka Mukha also. But here I think we'll allow her for two reasons. I would have insisted, but it was only yesterday. You came back yesterday. She came back from Chennai after receiving her convocation and the award. She had to perform there for that. Sir, any other karana you want to tell us? Shakatasyam and Gangavataranam. There is this Chakra Mandalam. Argalam you can do. That one moment of the sari, it doesn't matter. Nobody will do. Argalam can you all do? Any of you? No, you don't want to risk. They don't want to risk in front of this. Come on. Start. Argalam cha. Okay, that is Argalam. The thing is, Bharata's Nritya covers immense space. And that is why when Sir was talking today about the theatre, and the best is Vikrishta Madhyama. That Madhya Vikrishta is, like, this is like a Kanishta. It's really small what we have. And the stage space is even smaller. It's nothing compared to the stage space should be like this. This width would have been the best for doing Bharata's theatre. But at that time it was not a temple dance. Please, those who think that our dance originated in the temple, please do not have this, because temple building would have been there, yes, but the Vedic method was to make all oblations open to the sky. And even in Yajurveda it says, at least when I had to do Aharya Abhinaya as a study, I had to go through Yajurveda because I wanted to know why Abhinaya comes from Yajurveda. And mine was Aharya Abhinaya. So what was in Yajurveda that Abhinaya could be extracted from that? Because there was so much of movement around the even the Havan that was going on. There were certain rhythmic movements they would do, and according to the nature of the Havan, they would tie a red turban or a yellow turban. The color, yes. So that was Veshti, that they would cover their head with that, and that is where. So all the Abhinayas were there in Yajurveda. This was a very interesting thing to understand, and then the color also, because in Aharya Abhinaya color is so important. So the color made some relevance for that Homa. Because even when Sir was talking about the construction of the playhouse, the 4 pillars which were holding up the entire building, I was not there, sir, but I'm sure you have mentioned that. And then all the 4 varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and each of them were made a particular offering. The Brahmana pillar would be offered white vastra, white flowers, and white nevedya. So the varna made a lot of importance. That is not the varna of the caste, but the color was very important and so beautiful. The theatre was held by the 4 varnas which actually represented our society, and it was that society which was being entertained by the entertainers. So see how much of meaning was there in what was being structured, and Natya Shastra records all this. Let us feel proud and take it forward to talk about it like this. So now we've finished many of the very important Karanas. All the 108 are very beautiful. But now we'll come to the concept of Angahara. According to Bharata, it's called Angahara because the Angas, the various Angas and Upangas which went to make the Karana, beautified by Rechaka. The Rechaka is a very beautiful concept. Sir has already spoken about the Rechaka, sir.
No, I didn't.
So can I take a little time for that?
Sure.
In the 4th chapter, that is the Tandava Lakshana chapter, after speaking about the Karanas and then the Angaharas, then towards the end, I don't know why, after training the body, he says everything is Vyayama. At the end of the chapter, he talks about, after learning all these Karanas, they should be embellished with Rechakas, and explains what is Rechaka. Rechaka is the subtle movement of the body. And Abhinav Gupta, who was a musician and a musicologist himself, he explains that the Rechakas are like the Gamakas of the music. You know what is Gamaka? That is the Anuswaras. If you are having Sa and then you go to Re, then if you say Sa, Re, Ga, that's how the children will be taught. If you say Sa, Re, so you loop Sa to Re, then you get all the Anuswaras. The Anuswaras actually give the Gamaka. Now we are only talking about the Swara. But when you sing and there are Rechakas, the Gamakas in that, then it becomes so beautiful. That is the difference between a child who is being taught just the Swarasthanas and then when you link it. We have the body sthanas. We have the Purusha sthanas and Sri sthanas. If we are going to not link it with graceful movements, then it will look very acrobatic. So some say that the Karanas are very acrobatic in nature in some way, but if you see the sculpture, they don't look so acrobatic. Even in Gangavatarana, with both the legs up, she's looking very beautifully with her hasta also like this. It's amazing. That means, see, we now see so many gymnasts. They do so beautifully. Their body moves like they have no bones. So that was the training that was given. And the Rechakas made the movements beautiful. And Bharata talks about 4 Rechakas. He starts from Pada Rechaka, Kati Rechaka, Griva Rechaka, Kantha, he says, Kantha Rechaka, and Hasta Rechaka. So when you move, you know Indian dance is so very known for its neck movement. Whether it is Bharatanatyam or Kathak, when they do tha, thei, they are also using their neck. And Bharatanatyam, of course, the Attami is so very well known, but it's not just for Attami. When you show with the flowering of the lotus, then you do a Bhrugu Rechaka and Kantha Rechaka. So you can almost feel as though the flower is opening. So the Rechakas actually add a lot more meaning to your movement. Instead of just saying this, okay, it's looking like a pot or anything. But it's not that. You have the bud and the buds open. It's like, you know, every Rechaka of your face shows that it is opening, it's blooming. So the Rechakas are so important for Karanas, and that is what made the dance movement so beautiful. The Rechakas of the Kati is very, very important for making. You'll be able to do Sarpita or do Rechita Nikutam. Okay, do Lalita. Okay. Lalitam cha ta tha garam. So in this, the Kati is very important.
Want me to do without?
Huh?
Want me to do without the Rechaka?
No, without that, no. Do Rechita Nikutam. Sya Rechita Nikutam cha. Sya Rechita Nikutam cha. Actually, the whole body is balanced only on the Agratala, only on the movement of the leg going like this. The movement is from the Kati. So you go like this. With your hand, the Kati Rechaka is done and the Rechaka finishes here. So that is what he calls as Rechaka. Those subtle movements which actually embellish the body. Body movement, the same can be done by both men and women. Men will not become effeminate if they keep their personality and don't try to become like women. So now we go on to anything else, sir? Yeah. Now we come to Angahara because we have just about 10 minutes, and there are 32 Angaharas, and basically Angaharas are sir already told you all the combination of 2 and 3 and 4, and then when they are more than 6 they become Angahara because it is a hara of Anga, a hara of Anga movements, the movements of the body. So it is just like a korve adeva. What is the meaning of korve in Tamil? Korve means stringing together. Hara means stringing together. So we've kept, in concept, we have kept the adava is a unit of dance movement having a sthana, hand movements and leg movements. A karana is a unit of movement combining a sthana, chari and nritta hastas. In concept it is the same, but we have kind of, ironed out some of the Rechakas. Maybe because that was the only mode of reviving it. If you made it more complicated, there would be lesser takers. So if you said everybody has to keep the Natyarambha hasta like this, it's easier to make them do it. Whereas if you said do Avita Vakra, each one would be doing in a different way. So that is how the regional forms came to take on certain aspects of Natya Shastra. So Angaharas are a combination of Karanas. I will do just a couple of them. Which one are you going to do first? Vishkamba. She doesn't know which one I'm going to ask her to do. Vishkamba Pasrita. Vishkamba Apasrita. Vishkamba Apasrita has got, first I'm enlisting, then I will say as a Jati. It has the Nikuttitam, Ardha Nikuttitam, Bhujanga Trasitam, Bhujanga Trasta Rechitam, Akshiptam, Uromandalam, Kati Chinnam, which probably we would do 3 times. So we've just made it into a little Angahara, like a little Jati. You can just see how it goes. You take a Dalang, Takati, Takundari, Kita Takato, Kita Kita Takati, Kita Kita Takato, To, Kita, To, Kita Kita Takati, Kita Kita Takato, To, Kita, Tam, Tatakadina Team, Tatakadina Tam, Tatakadina Tatita, Tam, Tatakadina Team, Tatakadina Tam, Tatakadina Tatita, Tatat Rigdom Ta, Tatat Rigdom Te, Tatat Rigdom Ta. So this can be elaborated. I just took a small variation because see, doing an Angahara is not a very complicated thing, because once you know what are the basic movements, then you can create any number of jatis. So if you follow Bharata, he only enlists. That is he doesn't say how many have to be done, how many have to be done on the right, how many on the left. So you have immense freedom. There was a time when some scholars in the early or mid 20th century wrote that the Indian dance does not give any scope for imagination. Everything is so well taught that they have to only repeat that. It's not like that at all. There's immense manodharma. In this, art of choreography is a challenge. The jati, one Angahara, now she did an Angahara for probably about 1.5 minutes. The same Angahara can be done for about 5 minutes. So this is all about how much manodharma. Manodharma is your own imagination and how you can build it up. So now one more, where we won't repeat, only one thing I want to tell you, that in almost all the Angaharas, like in Bharatanatyam we have Kittakatari Kittutom or Tadinginatom. Most of you know we do this or this movement, or in Kathak you have Digda Digdithei, or in Odissi we have this movement going down, Dha, they go round. Just like that, in the Angaharas, almost all of them finish with Kari Hasta and Kati Chinnam. I'll just demonstrate that with her. Now you say, just do to kitataka to kitataka drigutum tam tatakadina tatita to kitataka drigutum tam tatakadina tatita to kitataka drigutum tam tatakadina tatita. This is like a mutaipi. He gives it as the end, and then it has been suggested that it can be done 3 times because that would give a completion, the end. It can be done all 3 on the same side or alternately, and very often Indian dance has been criticized of not having scope for group formation. In fact, in the Purvaranga chapter, it doesn't mention in the Purvaranga chapter, but in the end of Tandava Lakshana, it says how the Purvaranga has to begin. This was an important study when I had to do a project on Lasyangas for a fellowship that I got. And in that, the first person who enters the stage in any Natya presentation is a female. So all ladies should feel very good. Even Bharata, though he says everything should be understandable by the women and children. So women always put along with children. But the Natya presentation after the that is the Bahiranga and the 2 aspects, there are about 20 aspects in the Purvaranga Vidhi, and after that is done, the first person to enter is a Nrityangana. There the word Nritya is used, not Nritangana, but Nrityangana. And this Nrityangana enters, and then he says when more than 2 have already assembled on the stage, then there should always be Pindi Bandhas. What are Pindi Bandhas? Those are group formation. So these group formations, and he gives a whole list of it. I don't want to take beyond my time, but the whole list of it creates a Pindi, and he says when all of them are put together, it is like a gulma, that is, it's like a Pindi. Like when you take rice, we make a pinda and keep, that is all small, rice that is cooked. When it is bound together like this, it becomes like a Pindi. So that is called Pindi. Then there is Shrinkala, that is like a chain. So we have all folk dances. There was a talk, somebody asked about folk dance and whether that is used. I think Bharata's Natya Shastra itself, it's when it was recorded, there was already a prevalent system of practice. Nothing can be recorded if there is no practice. There was never a text written from which the practice started. There was always a practice that existed for at least a few 100 years, and then it was codified. And then it was revealed as a Shastra, yes, and as a knowledge, Natya Veda. And then it became a Shastra in the hands of Bharata, who codified them in that. that is how we have the folk, the Loka Nritya and the Shastriya Nritya having its roots in. Now when we do Mattali Chari, very often this is being done in lot of folk dances. No, do Yedaka Kirtan, not Mattali. Do it with, yeah. Yedaka Kirtan is one of the Bhumicharis. And this is so folkish. Do with the folk movement, no? This is a whole group of them doing this will make it into a shrinkala. So there were 4 Pindi Bandhas like that, and that again is given in the Purvaranga, that if more than 3 artists come, there are only 4 in Nrityangana allowed to come, not more than that. Nowadays we put a lot of students on the stage. That is because we want a good audience also. All the parents come, then we'll have the audience. But it's really like that, sir. Otherwise, we won't have an audience. So, Purvaranga, we always take 4 Nrityanganas to start. Then after that, we kind of bring many others to do the rest of the movement. So, he says 4 Nrityanganas, each of them, it's so interesting. The music also. When one comes, only 1 paragraph is done. When the second one comes, she'll do 2 paragraphs and 2 of the Angaharas. Then when the third one comes, it is, adding on. So when the 4th one appears, then there are only Pindi Bandhas. It's a beautiful concept, and we try to use it wherever and whenever we have a scope to make a presentation. I think I have, I had to do one more. Okay, do Achurita. Now I'll quickly say one of the Karanas one after the other. It starts with Nupura and Brahmarakam. Nupura and Brahmarakam. No, continue Nupura as Brahmarakam. Then Vyamsitam, continue. Vyamsitam, Alatakam, Nitambam, Karihastam, Katichinnam. This is what he enlists. If I say the shoulder, then she will be able to do the entire. In Bharatanatyam we say shoulder, but in Natya Shastra we say Shushkaksharas. So if I created a Shushkakshara Dhruva, then she would be able to do that as a Jati. But I think Sir has been so meticulously and with her support, keeping the timing, so I don't want to eat into anybody's time. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer if I'm worthy of it. And if I would do justice to my Guru's contribution to this field. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. No questions.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation. What an amazing way to conclude the day, isn't it? So, let's felicitate both of them. May I request Mrs. Shastri to felicitate Aishwarya, since you are here and it's our privilege to have you. And then her Guru. Jai Shri Ram. Of course, Jai Shri Ram is going to be with us for 3 more days.
Yes.
And
sure.
we will have a lot more things from her. So thank you so much, Aishwarya. I mean, I know it's been very difficult for you to come all the way from Mumbai and then going back again.
Youngsters have to thank
such an
for
honest
all.
audience.
Thank you so much. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow here. We start at 9:30 sharp. So 9 o'clock you have tea. So
Thank you so much for being such a patient audience.
have your tea and thank you so much.